Who sent Nature Boy? Who sent him? Yeah, we're going to get into some things today. Because ever since this Hulu documentary came out, it started to bring some things to clarity for me. Y'all think y'all slick? Y'all think we don't know? See, those of you who have discernment, open up your eyes and open up your ears and listen. Hear me when I say what I'm saying. Because everybody need to be held accountable. Everybody hands dirty. All you content creators, all your hands dirty. With the exception of a few that was on that documentary for Hulu. With the exception of a few. Some people are doing it to bring true awareness. Some of y'all are doing it because y'all actually do care about black women. Y'all care about young black people falling into cults and being deceived. Some of y'all actually care. Some of y'all get into the money. And I'm going to call names. I'm going to call some names today. And people who have brought awareness also going for the bag. Hood horrors. You one of them. I listened to your live today. I listened to it. I listened to your video you made. I want to say this. You did an excellent job documenting all of this stuff. Excellent job. Phenomenal. So much so that I know this is going worldwide. I know this is a lot deeper than you can really speak to. But I see you, my brother. You about the money. You about the money. You don't care about Nature Boy. You don't care about these women. You don't care about nobody. You care about that almighty dollar. I mean, Hulu gave you $30,000 not to say nothing about the documentary, right? You made buku money off YouTube, right? Because everybody's saying, go watch the Hood Horrors documentary. It's better than Hulu, and it is. I can't even take that from you. But when you said shout out to Nature Boy because he gave you some inside information, that let me know you don't care about nobody. You care about the money. You'll exploit whoever to get to the money. You know, when I was watching your documentary, I thought that you were, on the side of right. But you ain't left or right. You in the middle. And in the middle is where the money is. Get your money. I ain't mad at that. I want you to get your money. You should get your money. You did a lot of hard work. I want y'all to know, I'm not down in Hood Horrors because, he made the documentary. He should. That takes a lot of work to be creative and make shit like that. That takes a lot of fucking work. So he should be compensated. Everybody should be compensated for the work that they did documenting Nature Boy. But when you said shout out to Nature Boy and you talk to Nature Boy and you don't want to record now, it just seems like you don't want to say nothing bad about him now because he giving you the inside scoop. That's the thing about a lot of these niggas, man. And I ain't just talking about Hood Horrors. Like y'all will talk about him from a distance, but as soon as y'all get on the phone with him, y'all fall under his spell just like everybody else. Y'all fall under the nigga spell. You talk to the nigga on the phone now, all of a sudden, shout out to Nature Boy because he gave you some inside scoop so you can make some more money. He ain't even supposed to be making no money off the case, no way. He ain't supposed to be making no money off his life rights, no way. Now all of a sudden, y'all, shout out to Nature. Ain't no shout out to Nature Boy. That man is a demon. You documented that. You documented that he was a demon. Now all of a sudden, you don't want to say too much? That's what I'm saying, man. Y'all be falling under the thrall of this man as soon as y'all talk to him. That's the thing about this demon. He's charming. He's charming. Yeah, I could see if you was doing it for awareness because you actually cared about victims. But I don't even think you believe that people are victims. And this ain't about Hood Horror. This is about who sent Nature Boy. Who sent him? Huh? And a lot of these platforms are culpable. Y'all responsible for throwing this man in our face, constantly putting him in the algorithm over and over and over again, letting him get more and more and more people. Why is this man allowed to spread across platform after platform after platform? Why? Who sent this man? This is a meek black man. He's a nobody in this society. But he was able to create a cult and go from country to country to country for how long? Over a decade? And nobody did anything until now? All because of what they say he did, which is, I believe he did. I mean, he's in jail for stuff. You know, he's in jail for something that he's done 100 times over. He got the right sentence. Trust and believe that. He should be in jail for a lot more than that after all the things that he has done. But the fact that everybody, all the mainstream media is talking about him now. People who ain't never heard of this man, everybody's talking about him, and this is what he wanted. He said it. He said after this, his name is going to be bigger than ever. This is before he even went to prison. He said his name about to be bigger than ever, and he wasn't lying. That lets me know that this man was different. Not different in a good way. He's different because somebody is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Somebody pulling the strings. Who? How many people you know gonna allow a black man to have that much power and walk around freely? Now he's in prison. Now Nature Boy gotta pay what he owed. They let you get too far, my brother. They let you go over a decade with debauchery, mayhem, demonic shit that you was doing. They let you go over a decade. Now it's time to pay up. Because you don't get this stuff for free. You don't get it for free. Know that. So you had to pay with a life sentence because of what you did. But guess what? You can't make no money off your life, but everybody else can. That's why I say, who sent them? They knew how much money they was going to make off of this insane demonic being, because they make money off of all of the insane demonic cult leaders. Huh? Who was over the New Orleans? Where he at? In prison. How many documentaries they made about him? How much money are people making off him? The same thing gonna be done with Nature Boy. I was listening to Hood Horrors the other day, and he talked about how this is being discussed in Harvard and dissected. If you go back and listen to the video, you'll hear what the young lady in the background said is being discussed at Harvard. Who else is discussing this? Don't be surprised when y'all see this on CNN. Don't be surprised when y'all see this on worldwide news. Don't be surprised, because it's coming. It's coming. Nature Boy is going to be a household name, and this is exactly what he wanted. Because Nature Boy is a sociopath, in my opinion. In my opinion. I'm not a psychologist, but I pay attention to people. I'm observant, and he fits the bill of being a malignant narcissist and a sociopath. And sociopaths don't live in reality. They live in their mind. They live in their mind. So whatever it is in his mind, that's where he finds his freedom. He doesn't see himself in a prison cell. He doesn't see that. He is using people like Hood Horrors, Hulu, and everybody else to tell his story, because it plays up the fantasy in his mind that he is a god, that he is great, he is important. Because the worst thing for a malignant narcissist and a sociopath is to feel unimportant, ignored, forgotten about. Prison was never going to stop Nature Boy. It was never going to stop him. It just made him worse, because he has more time to be in his mind. That's why he created the cult, because he wanted the characters and the life he saw in his mind to come to life. He wanted people to be characters of his own delusion. And now that he is in prison, he has nothing but time to think about those delusions. And they are going to be even more grand than when he was free. Because An idle mind is the devil's playground. He has nothing but time and opportunity to think of the most extravagant, ridiculous things. People want to say that Nature Boy is schizophrenic. He's not. Nature Boy is not a dummy. I know that's popular to believe that, oh, he's just stupid. No, he's not stupid. He's a sociopath. He's a sociopath. Look up a sociopath. That's him. He knows exactly what he's saying, which is why he reached out to Hood Horrors, which is why he turned down $300,000 for his life rights. Partially because he can't make any money off of it. Number two, he knows that what he has is valuable. He would not be able to do what he did for over a decade if he was a dummy. He loves when people talk about him, good or bad, because he knows that as long as people are talking about him, the fantasy continues to remain. The delusion is fed that he's important. That's why everybody wants to start talking about Nature Boy, even on this channel. But I want to ask the question again. Who sent Nature Boy? And if nobody sent him, who allowed him to thrive? They might not have sent him, but they came and got him along the way. They saw what he was doing and they allowed it. That's why the algorithm kept pushing him. Why? Somebody created an algorithm. Humans formed it. Humans put the analytics in of what would go viral versus what would not. If you put Nature Boy in a YouTube search right now, thousands of videos will come up. And now they're striking Hood Horrors documentary. Why? Why? We have to ask the question, why? Why would they strike Hood Horrors videos? Is it Hulu? Is it anybody else? We don't know. We don't know. Everything I'm saying on here is just speculation. I have no proof of any of these things. I don't know. I could be absolutely wrong. But I'm looking for context clues, and the context clue says that there is a machine behind all of this that is pushing Nature Boy onto the masses. And I believe that they allowed Nature Boy to get away with these things for so many years so it could be grand and controversial, so they can continue to make money off him year after year after year with documentary after documentary. And then they throw people like Hood Horrors and the rest of you content creators a little piece of change for your content, for all your hard work, for all these years, so they can make millions. You hear what I said? Follow the money. They want to make millions off of this. They want Nature Boy to be as big of a story as Jim Jones. Hear me when I say. Hear me when I say. They want this to be as big as Jim Jones. All these black people went to follow this one man, and he wasn't even talking about nothing for real. He wasn't saying no truth. He was saying a bunch of dumb shit. A bunch of dumb shit. Typical Hotep shit. And people followed him. Young people. This older 40-plus-year-old man got a bunch of 18, 19, early 20-year-olds to follow him. That ain't hard to do. They impressionable as hell. With the powers that be, whoever this machine is, get your tin hats on, because here come the conspiracies. Whoever the machine is, pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. They knew he was insane. They knew he was a sociopath. They knew it. They enabled it. They enabled it. And they let him go further and further and further until they said, all right, time's up, Eligio. Now you got to pay what you owe. You sold your soul, figuratively speaking, and now you got to pay what you owe. Now you got to pay it with a life sentence. But don't worry, you can't make no money from it, but we're going to make all the money from it. That's why they're reaching out to all these different content creators. Because they want to make this story big, huge. And Nature Boy, he don't care. Because y'all talking about it. We talking about it. This is what he wants. He loves this. He loves feeling important. He loves when reporters and content creators call to talk to him for hours. I believe I saw on one video somebody said that Hulu talked to Nature Boy for 2 days. And over the course of 2 days, he spoke for 4 hours. He loves to talk. Narcissists love to talk. They love to speak about themselves. They love it. Why wouldn't they? You're talking about them. I want y'all to understand this. I want y'all to keep y'all eyes open while all this shit is going on. Because this is going to get bigger. They are talking about Nature Boy at Harvard. Nature Boy might be a curriculum at these institutions one day. And he would love that while he's living his life in prison. Don't be surprised when another documentary comes out. Because how many documentaries do we have about the Nubians? How many documentaries do we have about Jim Jones? And how many documentaries do we have about any other major cult in America? This is bigger than what we can conceive right now, in my opinion. I have to keep saying that. Because the machine is powerful right now. They are striking videos down. Which is why you see I have this video on here today. Open your ears, everybody. Open your third eye. And I don't even like saying third eye. I don't even like saying that. Because I feel like it leans into that hotep shit. And I don't subscribe to none of that shit. All of these people, all of these content creators, black men specifically, you think they care about these women? They make y'all believe they do. A lot of them. There's this one content creator. A lot of people don't like him. And I have my opinions about him too. But the only one that I hear, whether it's performative or not, the only one that I hear really criticize Eligio is King World. That's it. He called that man for what he is. Max V, he looks up to Eligio. He wants to be him. He likes it. He didn't even believe any other women were victims. He didn't believe any of them. He believed all of them were liars. But see, he flip-flops back and forth. One day he for Nature Boy, the next day he can't stand him. Now he ain't even want to talk about it no more. And y'all keep falling for the same trick. They point the fingers at the female content creators, saying, oh, they a cult. They don't know no better. They clout chasing. But anytime they get to talk to anytime these men get to talk to Eligio, they fall under his thrall too. They like him. They ain't got nothing against him. This case ain't got nothing to do with them. But because as long as Eligio is making them money, they don't care. Flip-flop. The only one I've ever heard really get on Nature Boy was King World. Now, he may have ulterior motives. Somebody said that he wanted to go and be with Nature Boy one day and he turned him down. And from that point on, he was on his neck. I don't know how true that is, but that's what somebody said about it. So whether King World be on him because of that or whatever, he the only one I ever heard say that shit about Nature Boy. Everybody else be admiring him the way they talk about him. With the exception of the women. The T, everybody's mad because they used her shit in the documentary. That's because she didn't have no commentary. We know how this works. We know how the entertainment business works. They don't want no speculation. They don't want to be sued. We know that. We know that. That's all right. There's so many other documentaries out there that y'all can go and watch. You can go and watch these content creators. They keep their foot on this man's neck. But I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of these content creators who reported on Nature Boy, they just like them. Birds of a feather. When they talk about Nature Boy, it sounds like they're almost admiring him. Talk about the men, of course. The men that so-called report and bring awareness. But I'm not so stupid to believe that if you had the opportunity to get a bunch of impressionable people around you and lead them, you would do it too. Because I believe that a lot of black men want that type of power. And y'all low-key admire this nigga. That's why you don't want to say nothing bad about him. That's why you walk light when it comes to him. And say it's just business. Because you admire him. You want to be real about it? Y'all admire this nigga. As a man, you looking up to somebody else. What's wrong with you? You're supposed to be protecting our sisters. Y'all admiring this nigga. You can't fool me. I see past the performance. You can't fool me. I got discernment. I see it. It's something in you that draws you to this man. Watch their content, y'all. Watch how their content starts to shift to be a little more neutral. Listen, I'm never wrong, I'm just early. Y'all come back and watch this video. Watch the content start to get a little more neutral. When the money starts rolling in for these certain content creators, when the bags get bigger, watch the content get a little more neutral. The content before the masses got to it was straight putting their foot on Nature Boy's neck. Everybody hated this man. Now all of a sudden, oh, I'm just reporting what I saw. I'm just reporting what was said. Now I don't have an opinion. You understand? You understand me? I get it. I pay attention. So I ask again, who sent him? As well as who sent these content creators to push this man onto the masses? Nature Boy is about to be bigger than we could have ever imagined. Bigger than he could have ever imagined. But he saw it coming. He said it. He said it. He lied about a lot of things. But he was truthful. Oh, let's not forget who introduced us to Nature Boy. Y'all know who? Y'all remember who introduced us to Nature Boy? Sarnetta. Another black man in the conscious, or as I like to call them, unconscious community. Why? You remember what he told Sarnetta when he did that final interview when Nature Boy was acting erratic? Sarnetta, you about to be rich. You about to be so rich. Why would he say that? What did Nature Boy see? Did he see himself becoming a household name and everybody's going to be making money off him? Because a lot of y'all are about to be very, very rich. Very rich from talking about old Nature Boy. A sociopath is right about one thing: people's desires, what people want. They have to be right about it so they can exploit it. They have to know things like that. They have to understand human behavior. They have to be devoid of empathy and compassion in order to exploit people's desires. And Nature Boy was a master at that. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, he was good at it. Unfortunately, he used his gifts of gab, the gift to influence and sway people, for evil. He really could have done anything. He had the right idea, but wrong intention. You could have went to the tropics and created a utopia for people. You could have went out there and was eating off the land. You got all of this money from people, and you were protected. You were given land, food, didn't have to work for any of it. It was just given to you. And you could have done that for good. You could have taken care of these young people. You could allow them to believe however they wanted to believe, and y'all could have just lived together in harmony. But no, you had to take command. You had to take power. That's what many of us black men do. We got to take power and abuse and harm and hurt. You weren't satisfied with living free. You had to take more. And that's why you are where you are today. And that's where you will stay. Because now it's time to pay what you owe.